Welcome to this look at a new mod map on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. This is Carmsden Farm, the new mod map by Oxygendavid, 560.84 megabytes to download. It seems quite high, but I think you can probably already see the detail on this map is incredible. It is a thing of beauty. I know a lot of people have been eagerly anticipating this coming out from the first shots that Oxygendavid put up and a lot of the work in progress shots and things like that, and it doesn't disappoint, I will say that. We'll get onto slot counts and stuff later on. I am doing this is on console, I'm on PlayStation. This is the main farmhouse where you start. As you can see from the front here, collectibles are available around the map. There are 1,000 each, pretty much like the ones on Elm Creek. Your start farm here is here on all 3 game modes. So your sleep trigger, which here is round the back. We do start with a dog kennel and a dog as well on New Farmer, which I'm on. There's your sleep trigger. So like I say, I'm on New Farmer, normal economy, so it'll give you some idea for prices and things like that. As far as this being fixed, obviously on multiplayer you'll be able to put extra sleep triggers in if you wish. Which I guess you can do, then you can come out and put it onto single player if you want to go down that route. As far as the map goes, this is what it looks like. Now, like I said, I'm on New Farmer. On New Farmer, we start with all of this. So all of the periphery around here, all of this section here, you do start with the biogas plant owned. That's all here. I come off, you'll see that there. There's the biogas plant. But there's something very strange about this. You can't sell it. Like normally you'd click on it, it would say 0 or whatever. You can't sell it. If you come onto here on Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, it doesn't give you the option to buy the periphery. I clicked on it on those modes and it wouldn't let me. Plus, you didn't own this section here, which is part of the periphery, and the biogas plant, whilst the buildings and facilities were there, it wasn't available to purchase. So I'm not sure. I'm going to assume there's going to be an update. I'm just going to say that now. But as far as what do we start with on New Farmer farm-wise, we start with field 2, 3, 6, 15, 4, 31 and 35. Now these are where your pastures for your animals are as well. These are all here, and these ones on New Farmer are fixed in place. All the animals are represented. And we're going to do a route round and have a look around the map. Contracts are available. If we click onto the contracts, you'll see price-wise, I'm on normal economy as well. Harvesting and spraying, 34 grand, 32 grand. But the fields are, in places, pretty big. Now, we do have a mixture of fields. Starting across the section here, which is where the river runs across the middle. There's a little valley here. We've got some fairly small fields, which are mostly grass, but obviously you can do whatever you want with them, ranging from all the way down here at sort of 34 grand. That one, 205. Then they get bigger. Your medium fields are more up around here and here. Then we get onto the much larger fields. 1,383,000, 1,310,000, 1,054,000. So the prices do go up. We do also have 2 placeable areas. One up the top here by the sawmill. And then we have one down here as well, near the biogas plant. So if you want to set up whatever, you know, and your placeable areas, your stuff, your production chains, that kind of thing, those are available. So, the map itself, what I'm going to do, we're going to head out onto the road. I don't think the gate opens. No. Onto the lane. Oh man, it just looks amazing. Foxgloves, aren't they? I think they are. And then we're going to head up the lane to the cow barn. On the other 2 game modes, the animal pastures, they were here. I'm just trying to think now. I'm sure the animal pastures were here. So, cow barn. I've left all of the triggers on just to make life a little bit easier. We do have a fuel tank. Now that also brings me to talking about mods the map maker has put in. As far as I can tell, Oxygendavid has put in, there's a shed, I think, and there's a fuel tank, which is here. And these are the ones that when you go over to them here on the back, you can have them filled for you if you want to, but you can fill them yourself also if you want to. Actually, that said, there's not a fuel station. You might have to place fuel pumps or something if you wanted to go down that route. Just thinking there's not a fuel station. Something to be aware of. But it's good that the biogas plant is owned. I like that off the start. But obviously, if you're going to come onto a farm manager or start from scratch, you have to completely build one yourself from scratch. Now, as far as the cows go, this will hold 150 cows. Slurry pit is out here. Nice big open pasture. Feed trough is on the inside there. I would imagine straw is going to go in there as well, because I didn't find a separate trigger for straw. But it's a pretty long trough. As we come around the side, we've got our first silo. So this one is CALMSDEN FARM Silo 2. To put into it, we open this up. We've got a water point just here, and we've got a milk point just there for our cows. Now, as far as silo capacity goes, this is one of two. Now, I spent a bit of time off camera trying to fill it. I got over 600,000 litres into this, and it was still going. I didn't reach the upper limit. I mean, even if you say, well, it's 600,000 litres, that's pretty cool. I don't know what the limit is. I mean, it could be 800,000, and there's no way to tell, because when you come up to them, it just says the silo is empty, and even when you put something in it, it tells you what's in it, but not what the capacity is. And these also aren't available if I go into build mode. We go to silos. There aren't any in here that have been put in by Oxygendavid as placeable, so there's not any real way of knowing other than filling it to its absolute capacity. But like I say, I got to just over 600,000 and it was still taking product. So, nice size, nice capacity. We've got barns open to the sides here, and in one of these we've got some equipment. I think it's this one here. There we go. We've got bale forks and a bucket for a telehandler, which is round the sides here. This is just, oh man, it looks so nice. We do have a few shed doors and things open. So we've got a telehandler, JCB, skip trailer, and one John Deere. We're going to get onto slot counts and vehicles in a little while when we get up to the farm. And I'm pretty sure in here we've got a mower. Is it the mower in here? There we go. Mower tucked away at the back of this barn here. Most of, I'll say most of, this one hasn't. I didn't put the lights on in the cow pasture either, but there are light switches in various barns. So what we're going to do is grab the John Deere. Oh, it's lovely. There's loads of stuff to the south, loads to the north, and like I said, this sweeps down. There's a valley in the bottom with the river that runs through the middle. There's a ford a bit further on that way. It's really, really nice. There are a couple, I'm not going to say it's not without its quirks, it's probably the wrong word. There are a couple of things I have come across. One being for sell points. If we go to sell points, if I go down to oats, for oats it says no selling point available. And the same with sorghum, which again I think is going to need to be addressed, because you probably need to sell your oats and your sorghum at some point. Or grapes or olives, but then obviously you've got production chains for those and you can put sell points and stuff in. So for the production chains for those, that's not too much of a problem. But the sorghum and oat worried me, because they're, I say, fairly standard, normal crop types. What else was I going to say regarding that? Yeah, the biogas plant, not being able to buy the thing. There was something else, but I can't think what it is off the top of my head. So what we're going to do is head up and out and over to the second part of CALMSDEN Farm. Now, this is based in Gloucestershire in the UK. It is based on a real farm. The PDA is real, as you can see when we come out and we go back up to the map. It's a real, it's taken from a real, like Google Maps. It's a real place. And when you saw the pictures, if you see the pictures, if you go on to Oxygendavid's social media, that's honestly, it's hard to tell at times between what are real pictures and what he's done. It's astoundingly good. Custom lighting, deeper blue sky, darker nights, animations of birds and deer and those kind of things and people. Custom textures, over 50 new HD models, all made by Oxy. Now the road, we came out of the farmhouse onto the road and went that way, so all I've done is just missed out that little bit with the buildings. What we'll do... Actually, we'll do this bit now. I wasn't going to, but we'll do this bit now. We'll cut into here and head across. We're going to come to some of the pastures. We'll do the sheep on the way back up. Oh yes, this was the other point I was going to mention, something that's confused me a little bit. There's a couple of the triggers that aren't necessarily in line with what it shows on the map. So if we go to the map, I'll show you what I mean. If we zoom in, so we kind of came out here, we've come round and we're back across this little crossroad. From the main house, you can actually come back through the gardens to here. But this one here says, remove junk in barns. Now I can't find a trigger for that. It's supposed to be, according to the map, just around here. Now also I can't get into here, because I thought, well, what it will do, it will remove all this junk and it will give us access to this barn. I've been along with the help. I'm going to open this up as well. Let's put the help window on. I can't find anywhere a trigger that allows me to do that. Now that may be PC only, potentially. It does happen sometimes. And the same is true with a couple of the triggers. I think the pig one, where it puts you into the pen, is not necessarily where the trigger is, but you'll see it differs slightly from the map. So as we come to the end here, we've got horses. There's a tennis court, there's a swimming pool back behind there. Got a little garden. It's incredibly well done, incredibly well done. So horses up here. This will take 8 horses. And you do have an exercise area for the horses just over there. We've got chickens. Feed trough is just here. Egg boxes, pallets will spawn here. And the trigger I found here, there we go. Dialogue box came up just there. And also I think it's this side, if we come back a little bit, it's a little bit, there we go, just come just there. So the trigger is, you might have to be in just a very specific place to get the trigger to come up. There we go. This will take 100 chickens in total in this little area here to come up the fields and jump the fence. Now what I'm going to do is go over and show you something here. On New Farmer, because you own the periphery of the map, which like I say I can't seem to be able to buy on the other modes, if we come through here, I'm going to show you the map on the map. So this is kind of owned. That's all forestry, and I thought, oh well, that's cool. We'd be able to do a bit of forestry along there. The main forestry, as far as I can tell, is in this section. But this section here is interesting. If you can get through the trees, there are no collisions on the hedges. So if you can find a way through, there's this secret meadow tucked away in here. But if you come onto your own farm manager and start from scratch, you don't own this plot of land. And you can't seem to buy it. So yeah, like I say, we'll see what happens with regards to that. Now, as far as pigs go, we check on the map, it's showing the pig icon there, and if you click on it to take you to it, let's say visit, it then puts you over here rather than there, which is fair enough. Water trough is here, feed trough is just there, and your dialogue box here for your pigs is all the way over here. If I click on that, this will hold 400 pigs. Now what I'm going to do is just buy one, because there's something else I want to show you. Because these are pastures, the chickens, there's a bit for the eggs, and I'll show you the sheep on the way back out. But as far as the pigs go, because this is a big open pasture, if we now go down to our pigs, there's nothing there about slurry or manure. And I don't think there's anywhere to put straw in that I can tell, because it's a pasture. Now it may well be you have to place one of the slurry pits and possibly one of the manure pits to get that to work. This is going to be one of the problems we're going to come across as we get new maps and things come out on FS22. because of all the different ways of doing things now, and because of the production change, because of the way the manure pits are different now, and you've got slurry pits available as well, it's not always going to be glaringly obvious at first glance how it's supposed to be done or intended to be done. More gameplay, more testing will uncover more of these answers, I think is probably the best way of putting it. I was sort of more, I wanted to get the map tour out. It's a tricky one. It's a balancing act between too little and too much, I guess. Sorry if that's going to annoy people. I know I can get people saying it's my job to make sure I know all this stuff. Apologies for that. So, that's some of the animals. So that's the cows, the pigs, horses and chickens. If we come out here and head up towards the other farm, we've got the sheep. I love the sounds as well, listen. It sounds like a latch on a gate. It's not that standard squeaky gate sound, it sounds like a gate latch. Sheep, 200. Over there we've got our water and we've got our feed trough, and just beyond that, where was it? Somewhere along that wall is where the wool pallets spawn. There's a little section which I've lost. Here we go. There. Which is where your wool pallets are going to spawn. So you have to come all the way in to get the wool pallets. Right. Just there is the second part of the farm, which we're going to head to now. That's got the second silo. No, I didn't try and put anything into that silo. I would imagine, again, I'm sorry, it's an assumption, that the silo capacity will be the same for that silo as well. So I think that was silo 2, this one's silo 1 coming up. As we come in, we've got a liquid fertiliser tank here. And this is one again, we can refill it automatically, so someone can come and fill it for you. 40,000 litre capacity, or you can buy liquid fertiliser and bring it yourself. If we come into the yard, got some more equipment and machinery. And now is a good time to talk about what we actually start with and what the slot counts are. So, brace yourselves. It's not as bad as it sounds, honestly. On New Farmer, 1,005 slots. Now, that is all the start equipment as well on New Farmer. But also bear in mind, worst case scenario, you've got 2,700 slots to play with. So you've still got 1,000, it's 2,700 and something, isn't it? Yeah. You've still got 1,700, which is way more than you had on FS19. If you're on PlayStation 5, as I am, that's 1,005 out of 5,155. You've still got plenty of slots to play with. If you come onto your own farm manager or start from scratch, the slot count is 884, but you don't start with any fields and you don't have any equipment or machinery. So that's the difference. 1,005, 884 is where you're going to be starting. As far as start equipment goes, not that one, that one. We start with 2 John Deere 6230Rs, one I'm driving, one that's in the shed, a Fendt 714 Vario. We've got a Class Trion 720, we've got the telehandler JCB we've already seen, and the skip trailer. We've got a header for the harvester, we've got a cultivator, the Vegetad Rapid A800S seeder, weights, header trailer, a few telehandler tools. We've got a round baler, the VB3190, the mower we've already seen, the sprayers just in front of us, the Burst 2 Vantage 4300, and we start with a roller. That's the equipment you get. But like I say, farm manager will start from scratch, you don't have any of that. We'll move around the yard. So the second silo is here-ish. This is where you take out of the silo, but not what you put into the silo. We've got the rest of the equipment in here, the harvester, roller, seeder, it's all tucked away in here. Lighting, that's what I was going to show you. Lighting inside the barns and buildings is fantastic. And we can get out through here. I'll show you these and I'll come back for the tractor. So we can get back round through here. So the silo for putting in, and a very large building, is just in here. So putting into the silo is done there. Now I would have thought this has got a larger capacity than the other one, because it's a bigger silo. That's not to say it has, but I would say it's going to be over 600,000 if the other one is as well. And then to the sides here, we've got a vehicle workshop tucked away inside here. Now as far as it goes for getting larger machinery in, it's not a bad opening door-wise, but I'm just thinking angle. You might have to kind of drive in, then reverse round maybe to get to the trigger, but it's doable. So there's your vehicle workshop. Lovely. From here, let's go and grab that. Close that. Close that. Close that. Let's go and check out some of the sell points. We do have a fuel tank here. Again, we can refill this, have it delivered if we wish. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to head from here and we'll go out to the various different sell points. Now, bits of this journey, I may skip. The return legs, I think I will skip. We're going to head out west, out to the wild west of CALMSDEN FARM. But the return leg, I won't show, because obviously it's just got a reverse of what we've already done. But I just wanted to get a nice feel for the farm and the scenery and the rolling landscape. The map doesn't feel particularly big, which is surprising considering the size of some of the fields and stuff. But I do like the textures, the parallax mapping. I mean, it does add so much to it. Now we can go left or right here. If we go right, we haven't got to open the gate, I think, if I recall correctly. So as far as forestry goes, there, like I said, there is a sawmill. You can plant trees yourself. I'm not sure where the best access into here is. I think it's just through here. But there is a bit of forestry to be done if you want to, or like I say, you can put your own in. There we go. There's a bit through there. So we come all the way out here. There's a lime station and the garden centre sell point out here. Whoa, just realised that was a bridge. That blended in so nicely. So, very fitting. Sell point here for the garden centre. Lime station just over there. Greenhouses, I think we can go into these as well. Yeah. But somewhere like this, I mean, if you bought the plot of land, you could then stick in a load of production chain greenhouses and sort of extend the garden centre if you wanted to. My mind's already kind of thinking ahead of, you know, what could you do and what could you add here, and you know, I don't know. It's very nice. I think it's just nice having. I know we've got no man's land already, and no man's land's one of those maps. And it always was, like on FS19. That it gives you so much. I mean, you can do literally anything on there. And I think sometimes, I mentioned this once before in a video, I think I found that can be just as daunting, I think. Because where do you go with it? Where do you start? Well, you know, it's often just as hard to decide where you're going to start as it is where you want to go with it. Whereas a map that's kind of fleshed out a little bit more kind of leads you down certain routes already, I think. But so we're going to head back to the main road, and then we're going to head north up to the general store. I'll see you there in a moment. So, back out on the road heading north again, just come back from the garden centre. So we're heading up to the general store. Now each of the main sell points that are clustered around the map have a name. Each one, as far as I can tell, yeah, each one as the general store, well, has the name plus a bale sell point. Some of them have a second sell point, a secondary sell point on there as well. and this one has the sawmill next door. Now, this is the production chain sawmill. Unlike sawmills previously, the wood chip sell points now are pretty much scattered around the various different sell points because the sawmill is a production chains point. So, general store, daylight hours only. I think before a certain time and after a certain time those gates won't open. But obviously it's now nearly 10 o'clock. So we've got the general store sell point just here. We've got bay 1 around here. And then we've got the bale sell point for the general store just around here, signified with a couple of bales just there. Then we've got the sawmill just through there. There's 100,000 to buy the sawmill. It's the only one other than the biogas plant which you start with on New Farmer. I love these gates. Yeah, it's the only production chains built into the map. There's no grain mill, there's none of the other ones you get on Elm Creek and Oberon, those kind of things. So those you would have to place the production chains as you go. But you have your point for selling your lumber just here. Your wood chip retrieval, because if you do production chains and you're producing planks, which is going to be spawning... Actually, where are they? Oh, here probably. You get wood chips as a byproduct. So there's your production chains point. So if you do buy it, 100,000, and you can run that as a sawmill production chain. The first of those two large viable land areas, not farm fields, but sort of placeable areas. I mean, you can have it as a farm field. You can plough it as you want to. But these are lizard estates. So these are development land. So if you want to expand your production chains, that's not to say you can't do your production chains anywhere else, but it just kind of gives the option. As I said, you might have noticed more of these, but they're dotted around all over the place. So we're going to head now to the eastern side of the map, and we're going to the farm store. Farm store? Yeah, farm store and the main vehicle store. There's some nice little features out here. I was kind of, when I first sort of whizzed around the map, thought, oh, that I was wondering whether there was anything added. But I think with production chains, and as we move forward and new production chains and things start coming out, people release new things, maps like this, well, any of the maps that come out are going to be enhanced so much, I think. I do like as well map edges. You've still got that feeling that on this one that it goes on and on and on. Oxygendavid's always been very good at doing that. Once we've done this part, we're going to head back into the centre and then head south of the river. It's always a little bit more dicey south of the river. So, this is what I was talking about. So we have got the main store, which we can get to in a second. If we turn in here, we've got like an old, well, what we used to refer to as a rubbish tip, refuse centre, whatever you want to refer to it as now. But recycling centre, the dump, or we used to be going down the dump. But anyway, it's really cool. The detail on it's amazing. Love it. If you come around the back of here, now you can go in through the main entrance. I'm just kind of, you know, I'm going around this secret, it's not a secret way, but you know what I mean. Round the back here brings us to the general store. So we've got the general store sell point. Not general store. General store was the first one. This is farm store, sorry. So we've got farm store, bay 2 and bay 1. One of them's round. Where is it? Round there. We look on the map. I haven't done that yet. I'm normally very good at that. So we did the animals there, didn't we? We went up there. did the second part of Carmstone Farm. Went all the way out there, garden centre, lime station. Then we came back, headed north. We've done all these section up here, so the general store and all those sell points. Out here, down here, so now we're at the farm store. So that one is Bay 2 and Bay 1. Then there's the bale centre, which we're going to have a look at in just a second. And we should be able to head round and through. I think it might be going round that way. But so the bale point for the farm store is here. Oh no, we can go this way as well. So there you go. Sign says farm store. We went through the back way, but you can go either way. And we've got the main vehicle workshop here. So, main vehicle store is just here. Everything spawns onto this point here. Customise, repaint, repair, sell point is just there when you've got something you've got on there you're going to sell. The reset point, if you have any issues or anything, is not here. If you have any problems, you need to reset anything. The reset point is here at the main Carmstone Farm, just in the yard here. So you can buy stuff from the main store and reset it to your main farm if you wanted to go down that route. So from here, at the main vehicle store, we're going to head back to the centre of the map and then go down across the river. So I was just thinking we could... No, we'll do that. So we could cut across, but actually, you know what? Let's check that. So from where we are here, I think there's a track here. We could cut across because we are heading inevitably. We're going to end up down here at the biogas plant. There's Cotswold store, Cotswold bales and stuff is down there. But I would really wanted to go through the middle here because I find it's rather picturesque. But anyway, there is a track that leads down over there. You can just see it through there. There's a little ford through the river as well. But we're going to we'll go back to the middle. I just wanted to drive through almost not even a village really, just a hamlet. Now I know on some of Oxygendavid's maps previously, people don't always like the overhanging trees and the shadow and that kind of thing. I've always found it very realistic. I like it. I think it gives a nice feel. If you're driving out like this, then the tree's getting away from driving. But I've always found it a little bit more kind of... I find it more immersive personally. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. That's going to be the same with any map tour. I'm just thinking to FS19, all the map tours are done. Literally hundreds of maps. To think at the moment with FS22 we've got the standard maps, No Man's Land and Carmstone Farm. And I'm just thinking ahead now, a year from now, 2 years from now, how many we're going to have. How many varied types of maps and places and locations and countries and, you know. So. It's fantastic. Off to the right, just down there, there's another track. That road leads you all the way back round to the west, up towards the lime station and garden centre. There's a little church along there as well when you drive past, the bells ring. It's lovely. Now this does also say it has, if you're running it with seasonal growth and all the rest of that on, as you run through the seasons, it has seasonal visuals. So in the summer, barbecues, mowers, washing lines, etc. Autumn, obviously falling leaves from trees, that can't say obviously, but falling leaves from trees, I think it's shown here. In the winter, snowmen, icicles and much more. Collectibles I've already mentioned. If you go into license plates on here as well, we do also have UK license plates built into the map. Custom sounds, custom grass textures, I mean it's just... I suppose it's what we've kind of got used to with so many map makers. Time and energy and effort taken, not just for the map, but all the custom stuff that goes into these. So I'm wondering with that thing when I said about the trigger for removing stuff in barns and buildings, whether all this kind of stuff would vanish if I found the trigger. If the trigger's even available on console, of course. The second of the large placeable areas is just here on the right. Vast open area. I mean, they're not cheap. I think this one's about 800 and something thousand for this one. Then when you look at what you're getting paid for fertilising jobs, if you're getting 20, 30 grand, yes, they're big jobs, yes, they're big fields, but you can make a fair bit of money, I think, personally. So like I say, biogas plant, only available, it would appear, on New Farmer. So it's pre-owned, it's here already. If we go into our production chains on New Farmer, you can see already biogas plant is here, ready to be activated, stuff to be put into it, all good to go. But not available as it stands at the time of recording this video on the Farm Manager or Start From Scratch. Then if we go from here and out around the back, we've got the Cotswolds sell points and the debris crusher. I think that's around this way. It's out round these parts. There we go. Cotswold stores. Debris crusher limited for all your stone crushing needs. Then we have 3 sell points here. I need to get these in the right order. We have got Cotswold Bales, Cotswold Stores and Cotswolds Farmers Market. The Farmers Market is that one over there. We will go onto the map because that will make it a little bit easier to see. Debris crusher there, so that one, that side is stores. That one is the bale sell point and that one is the Farmers Market. So store, bale sell point, Farmers Market. And then from here, we're going to head south. South. I always found it kind of awesome with landscaping and stuff that we got on FS19. How you could take a map that anyone had given, anyone had made, anyone had put out there. You could have 10 different people playing the game and every map would look different because of what everyone had done to it. Now with production chains as well, that opens that up exponentially. You think about a plot of land like that, 10 different players, 10 different gamers, 10 different YouTubers, how that would look completely different for each person. It's very cool. Very cool indeed. So, we're coming up on the last of the sell points. Yeah, there is no fuel station. So it'd be a case of, there's the fuel drums you can buy. There are a couple of placeable fuel points available. So you could set up your own little petrol station somewhere maybe. First up, we've got livestock market. Licensed and bonded, licensed livestock auction, just there. We've got a farmers market sell point, just there. And then we've got all spheres stores. Ah, this was the other point. It's a minor thing, it's a tiny thing, but this threw me a little bit. Because as I came in here, I saw the bales there, and then on the side there we got wool and stuff. I'll explain in just a moment. So here, we've done just past the animal dealer and the farmers market. We've got all sphere stores and all sphere stores bales. The bales sell point is that one there. The stores sell point is just there. So what we've got on the side of here is wool shop and there's wool pallets and that kind of thing. So I thought, oh, this is going to be what was kind of the spinnery. So here's the weird thing. And this, like I said, it just threw me a little bit. If we go down till we get to cotton, it's fine. Look up there, top one, all spheres stores. Go to wool. All spheres stores is not the wool one, which is weird because that's where we are. It's a minor thing. I know it's probably just been missed off the sell point thing. It's a tiny little thing. but I still have my kind of FS19 head on, that kind of, oh, spinnery, this is the sell point, this is the, you know. So when I checked, I thought, hang on a minute, you can't sell wool here. Yeah, bit of a peculiar one, but it is, again, it is what it is. It's a minor thing, but I thought I would highlight it because I'm sure people will say, I went down to the wool sell point, couldn't sell any wool. It's not showing up as being wool selling there. So there may be a few tweaks to come. You know, I think I found 90%, if not more, of maps that came out on FS19. Within a couple of weeks or so, there would be an update of some description. The conversion from PC to console is not a simple thing to do. Requires a lot to get it converted over and put onto console. I'm not knocking the map maker. I'm not knocking it, nothing like that. Couldn't be more happy that this has come. And any maps that we get on console, it's absolutely phenomenal. But sometimes in that crossover, you think of all the hundreds of lines of code and all the stuff that needs to be changed over, ported over. One little thing can get missed and you'll get something happen. So yeah, potentially there'll be an update. As far as the map itself goes, we have come from the biogas plant down this track here, along here, down here, livestock market, farmers market, and the two all spheres sell points. And that's the map. That's Carmstone. There's more to see. There's more beautiful scenery from different points on the map. It looks great. It's really, really nice. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad we've got it. Thank you very much, Oxygendavid. But that's it from me, from Carmstone Farm Map Tour. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.